Now, a few last words on what we call the architectures. What is typical of issues with people starting with Cisco topologies is to be confusing the architectures and the deployment solutions. Cisco typically talks about unified access architecture. And what they mean by that is three different things. First of all, they say you should have one management. That is to say, you should have one single application from where you should have a clear pane of glass that allows you to see and manage all your devices. Access points, but also switches, etc. That's one pillar. The other one is one policy, and that says you should also have one application from where all your security is going to be configured. You don't need multiple applications for multiple cases. That appliance is going to be able to manage the access security, the encryption policies, everything. And in the Cisco network, this is Cisco Identity Services Engine, ISE. And then the third pillar of this architecture is what we call one network, where basically you have different deployment models, but that all can be combined together in one single network and therefore be managed by one single appliance and secured by one single appliance. So that's the unified access architecture. Inside this architecture, at the one network side of things, there are multiple deployment models. So unified access is the architecture. And within the unified access architecture, made of these three pillars, you have different deployment models. One of them for wireless is centralized wireless, when there is an overlay of a physical appliance or a virtual appliance managing access points that connect through various switches. That's centralized, and that's a deployment model within the unified access architecture. Another deployment model is what we call distributed wireless, where we converge the wireless function and the wired connection function into the access switch. So converged access is a deployment model within unified access. Don't get it wrong, unified access is the architecture. Converged access is one of the deployment models of the one network aspect of unified access. So what deployment options does it give you, all that together? Well, basically 5 different models. One of them, of course, the simplest is autonomous, where you don't have any controller. Then if you add controllers, they can be centralized or they can be converged by bringing the controller function inside the switch to which the access point connects. Then if you use this centralized model, maybe all the access point traffic and the client traffic is going to go through the controller, or maybe are you going to decide that the data plane needs to be split from the control plane, and the data plane may in some cases be local to the access points. And that's the Flex Connect model. All those 4, autonomous, Flex Connect, centralized, and converged, suppose that you have all the equipments independently in your location. You're not relying on anything outside of your network. But if you prefer to do so, you can also use the Cisco Cloud networking with the Meraki solution. And that's going to be the cloud managed, where the control function is going to be exported outside of your network and present in the cloud. Of course, the downside is it's outside of your network, so you have less a feeling of control about what's going on. The plus, of course, is that it's in the cloud, so your management team and your network team can access the network for any branch anywhere from wherever they are, because it's in the cloud. No need to connect to some remote device, etc. So there are plus and cons for each of these solutions. There is no one right or one wrong solution in the Cisco world. Basically, what they try to do here is to provide as many solutions as there are use cases for deployment and management that is as efficient as needs to be for each individual customer case.